Okay, let's discuss about email etiquette. So, primary thing that you should have a professional email ID. Okay, as far as possible, try to avoid using your personal email IDs for professional purposes. Okay, because if you have personal email IDs, which in which your names are fancy, it conveys a negative opinion about you to the interviewer or in a professional environment. So the primary thing before following any email etiquette or the rules related to email is you should have a professional email ID. You can just have your email and your initial rather than having any fancy names. This is a discussion on email etiquette with a focus on forwarding etiquette. So here we will be primarily focusing on what are the rules that you should follow while forwarding any mails. What is an etiquette? The rules which indicate the correct way to behave in a certain time and place. Etiquette mainly refers to the rules and regulations. Email etiquette is especially important in the workplace. Not just email etiquette, all types of etiquette is essential. Five basic email etiquette rules. See, usually now we get a lot of spam mails rather than required mails. So how do you categorize it? How do you ensure that your mail reaches the concerned person and it has the desired impact? See, as an HR of a company or as a manager of any company, he or she will be receiving hundreds of mails every day. So if you do not follow certain rules related to email etiquette, there are all chances that your email will not be read by the concerned person and the purpose of you sending the mail is not served. Therefore, you have to follow certain etiquette. So the primary aspect of following email etiquette is to ensure that your email is read by the concerned person. Primary aspect is your email ID should be professional, and most important thing is you should always mention the subject in the subject line. I see many students, whenever they mail me asking for permissions, they don't write the subject itself. When I receive the mail, it is mentioned as no subject. Even I receive, let's say, 20 to 30 mails per day. I don't have the time to read each and every mail. I will just look at the subject and then decide whether it is a spam mail, should I delete it. It's easy to delete. You just click on unread and untick the ones, tick the ones that is not required and delete it. Okay, therefore that is what if this is the case with a person who receives 20-30 mails a day, you can imagine the case of HR or manager who receives hundreds of mails per day. So your subject line should be very much important. So we'll discuss the first rule. Always include a subject and use the recipient's name in the greeting. So this is always important. As I said, subject line is very important. By looking at the subject only, they will decide whether to read this mail or to delete this mail. So be specific. Your subject should include, let's say if you're applying for leave or you are applying for the post of a journalist, then you should just clearly specifically mention application for the post of journalist. Or you can even mention your name, ABC's application for the post of journalist. If you want to specify the day, specify the place in which you are interested in, you can even mention at Bengaluru. So by that they will get to know that they have to read this mail, and you can even make it as important. And recipient's name is also important because let's say you're mailing it to TCS. Simply you can't say dear sir or madam. You should be specific. If you know the name of a person, you can mention the name dear sir, or otherwise you can mention dear HR manager or dear HR, like that. So you need not mention respected sir, because sir is only respect. Sir only denotes respect. The need for this will be made clear during our email safety day. Why is a subject important? It informs the recipient what the email is about. Do not write in all capitals. Writing in all capitals can convey that you are shouting in your message and nobody likes to be yelled at. Consider other ways to get your message across while conveying its importance. Using all capitals can be annoying and trigger an unintended response. See, many times we are of the opinion that if we use all capital letters, it will be like a highlighter so that the reader can read it without failing to read it. But it conveys as if you are shouting at the person. So instead of that, you can use normal small letters or simple letters, as we call in English, and you can highlight it in yellow. The important aspect that you want to showcase, that could be highlighted, or it could be made bold. Some even object for making bold also. Or the best way is you can have it in a separate line or a separate paragraph, so that the person will get the appropriate information. Even while writing email also, you should follow the essay writing format, means where you write one idea per para, so that there will be clarity. If you jumble up and have only one paragraph for the entire email, the reader will lose information. The reader will not have the patience to read line by line. They may misinterpret, they may even not read at all. So if it is separated into different paras, it will be easy for them to read. Even if it is one line, okay, see to it that different information, let's say you want to talk about three things in your email, have in three separate paragraphs. Next, the third aspect is do not use email to discuss confidential information. So this is very much important. Many a times the email that you send can work against you as a proof. Therefore, you should be very much cautious whenever you use any confidential information. As far as possible, try to have a dialogue with the concerned person. Rule 4, take care with abbreviations and emoticons. Save abbreviations like LOL or IDK for text message among friends. Some may not understand your abbreviations, not professional. So this is very much important. Abbreviations, you should avoid it. As far as possible, avoid your WhatsApp or Facebook SMS language. Avoid SMS language in professional emails. Rule 5, think before you send. If you answer yes to all of these questions, is this relevant to the work my organization is doing? Will the office benefit professionally from this information? See, always make it a point. First, you focus on the subject line. Next, you develop the body of the email. Then acknowledge, sign it off by mentioning your name, designation, and you should also mention your contact number. Because again, they may at times they want to contact you immediately. So they may not have the patience to download your CV, okay, and then have a look at it. If you mention your name just below, when you mention thank you, yours sincerely or yours faithfully, and then mention your name, and below that if you mention your contact number, it will be easy for them to connect with you. And at the end you should mention the two email ID, because at times there are chances due to connectivity issues or by mistake you may click on send. At that time what happens, your incomplete message reaches the person. Okay, so it will again, as they say, first impression is always the best impression. If you send an incomplete email and then send a full email, people think that you people are not professional. Therefore, always make it a point that you write the two email ID at the end when you are satisfied with all these things. And again, as I said in the previous classes, you can enable Grammarly through Google Chrome extension, and you can permit for your emails also. So Grammarly will help you to eradicate the minor basic grammatical issues. So again, you should be grammatically correct. If you write in incorrect English, again, though you could be talented, you will lose the chance of getting selected. So you should always make it a point that your email is relevant to the organization and it will benefit professionally. But if your answer is no to any of these, could this information hurt or embarrass or offend someone? Email should not be used for confrontation or yelling or reprimanding. So you should always, especially when it comes to corporate culture, there in any work atmosphere, there will be always internal politics, work atmosphere politics, office politics. Therefore, you should always avoid abusing people, okay, or embarrassing people whenever you mail them. As far as possible, try to be neutral and professional. Because if you abuse anybody over email, it will act as an evidence against you. Okay. Therefore, you should avoid offending or embarrassing others. Could this email be misinterpreted in a bad way? So always make it a point. Don't be in a hurry whenever you are sending any professional emails. Let's say you draft a body, give it some time. Let's say a half an hour or 1 hour. Again, come back and have a look at it. Look for any errors, miscommunication, or you can ask your friends or family members, or if it is that important, you can share it with your friend, the body, over other email through personal mail, and ask him, does it convey the appropriate meaning, or what meaning does it convey? Is this information important to share in the workplace? Could this email get me into trouble? So you should consider all these aspects before sending any email. That is, whether this mail hurts anybody, or will this mail be interpreted by somebody else. See, the main disadvantage of email is you won't get to know the body language of the person, okay, the situation of the person. Therefore, It is very important that your email is not misinterpreted. So part of rule 5, what is the main purpose of email in the workplace? It's quick communication, share professional information, keep records of communication. So these are the aspects. Initially, many even say email was discovered or invented accidentally. The intention was not initially, email was for defense purposes, to have a conversation between the internal organization, but accidentally, even I think internet or email was discovered, invented accidentally. It is not for sharing funny email forwards that your friends send you, sharing political or religious views, harassing co-workers, inappropriate conversation. See, the first one is irrelevant today, because during the initial days when email was invented, then people used to share email forwards. Now, after the invention of Messenger, Facebook, and even WhatsApp, so all these messages are shared over. So, and even Instagram, Twitter, all these messages are shared over uh, social networking sites. Sharing political or religious views is wrong, harassing co-workers and inappropriate conversation. See, during the earlier days when there was no WhatsApp, people used to chat over email. Okay, because it was free. They used to have a long distance conversation, even international or intercontinental conversations they used to have. Many even have got married based on that. Okay, therefore, now your professional email should not be used for that. Then rule 6, do not forward unnecessary or unrelated emails. If you don't send this email to at least 10,000 people, you will die a painful death. See, all this now we are receiving it in WhatsApp messages. Avoid it as far as possible. And the moment you look at it, you can delete it. You should always keep on cleaning your inbox. Okay, you should not store. Many a times I have seen to people who have not who have thousands of hundred messages in their email box. So that leads to loss of important information, because you do not know which is important, which is not important. You will have hundreds of hundred messages, and you do not know to what to respond to. Therefore, the best idea is have one personal email ID, have one professional email ID. Professional email ID means you use that email ID only for employment purposes. Then as students, if you are using any, if you are taking part any webinars, conferences, you can have a separate email ID for that, so that you there will be categorization of mails. Then what are the rules for forwarding? If you cannot take time to write a personal comment at the top of your forwarded mail to the person you're sending it to, then you should not forward it at all. See, many times we have seen, for example, if I send a mail to your class representative and I ask him or her to forward it to your classmates, if in case I don't have the classmates email ID, then the CRs should, when they are forwarding, should mention. They should not just forward. They should mention a note. They can say these are the instructions that has to be followed at the time of examination, and then they can forward it. Simply forwarding is of no use. It's like showing disrespect to the recipient. Think carefully about if you of what you are forwarding will be of value, will be of any value, appreciated or humorous to the person on the other side. So you should also take into consideration whether your forward mails will be of any value to the recipient. Will it be appreciated? If an email tells you to forward to everyone you know, love, or all your family, do not forward. So this is basically, you should not heed to the forward emails that ask you to share this email to at least 100 people so that you will become lucky, or those kind of things. You should avoid it. Is it a good idea to forward emails that promise money or goods? Should you forward emails to as many contacts as possible? So this is a major question. So if you come across any advertising emails that says, you forward it to 50 people and your mobile phone will get recharged immediately, or you will get your mobile will be recharged of 100 rupees. So should you forward such mails? It's a big no. And you should not spam somebody else's folder also. Again, if you keep on spamming, they will not give importance to your important mails. Should you forward emails to as many contacts as possible? No, only to the relevant contacts you should send. So this is the example of the screenshot of the email. So again, here from FRM, from this is wrong, this is an example what you should not do. This is the email ID. Then CC, if you want to be informed, if you want somebody to be informed about this conversation, you can mark them as CC. If you do not want them to be informed about this, if you do not want them to know to whom all this email is sent, you can use BCC. Attention, do you want to work from home? You can earn $10,000 a week with this opportunity. Check out our site. So as far as possible, you should avoid such advertising mails, because many times it could be phishing mails. They may hack your email accounts. That's why I said you should have a professional email ID. The email ID that you give to banks, okay, or any financial transactions, you don't reveal it to anybody. Only the bank and you should know about it. So your Facebook, the email ID that you give for social networking sites, that is to be separate, and professional email ID should be separate. Then, would this email be relevant to someone? Hello, staff members. We have a new recent opening on site for a volunteer management specialist. Attached is a job description. Go ahead and pass it on to your networks. If you are interested in making a difference by working on literacy-related causes in your community, consider applying for a Minnesota Literacy Council VISTA position. What are the requirements? VISTA members must be at least 18 years of age and a US citizen or legal permanent resident. Some college experience is preferred, and you should have a desire to fight poverty with passion. Vistas commit to a full year of service, August to August, typically serve 40 hours per week, and are not allowed to hold other jobs or attend school full time while serving. So first, you should always be cautious. You should be skeptical regarding such emails, because you do not know who this HR is. Okay, so only after verifying, you can share it to the concerned people if they are interested. And you can also make a disclaimer. You can just mention, when you forward this such type of mail, you can write a disclaimer saying that I just received a forward message. See if you are interested. Okay, you should not say I have applied. You can because if you simply forward it, the other people will think you have cross-checked it, you have done the preliminary verification, so they need not focus on it. Because the main problem is many people are demanding money, saying that we will ensure that you will be placed in reputed companies and you have to pay us this much amount. Then little Susie died waiting for her mother to come. If you have a heart, forward to everyone you love. Again, these are all silly forward messages which you should avoid as far as possible. Remember, when you send an email to someone, they are getting a copy that they can keep forever. That's what I said. All your emails will act as a proof against you. Therefore, you should be very much cautious while you are sending any mails. So to summarize, primary aspect is you should have different email IDs for different purposes. One for your social networking sites, one for your bank accounts, and another one for your professional aspects. Means whenever you're sent for job purposes. So it's ideal if you have 3 different email IDs. Okay. Then for professional email, you should have a professional name. Professional name. You should not have any fancy names or numbers. Then third aspect is you should always write the subject in the subject line. Then you have to focus on the body. If you're talking about 3 topics, have it in 3 separate paragraphs. Use Grammarly to avoid basic grammatical errors. And while you're signing off, you mention your name, designation, and contact number so that they can contact you immediately. Okay, and forwarding, you should always make it a point that you write at least 1 line informing something to the person to whom you are sending. And you should use appropriate language. Your email should not hurt anybody. It should not lead to any kind of misinterpretations. So these are the basic aspects of email etiquette. I hope you all understood it.